Hello and welcome from a strange location to episode 69 of Mouses Makes. I'm just going to move this because I can't actually see what I'm doing. That's better. I recorded my podcast and then, having saved it, I discovered that I'd somehow managed to cut the first 10 minutes off. So I'm just recording the beginning again to welcome you. Thank you for all your donations to the Ko-fi account, which paid for almost all the postage for the Ukraine mail prices. Remind you that there is now the Mouses Makes October mail 2022 running. Details should all be down below the video. And I think that was all I said. I've condensed it right down. And then I started showing you my finished objects. So we'll just cut straight to that, shall we? And hope that it doesn't knock all the audio off like it did last week. I really shouldn't be allowed, should I? Okay, hopefully this has worked. And yeah, let's see. Hang on. That's it. I saw this, someone had done this on Ravelry. So you can see her tail. I am really, really pleased with them. I've blocked them now. The issue I had, I think I'd finished the first one when I saw you or showed them to you last time. The issue I had was that this was very loose. So what I did was go back in. I nicked them on a 2.25 9-inch circular. And I went back in and I took down the rib and just one row and redid it on a 2mm 9-inch circular, and it's perfect. There's enough room to move my fingers, but it's not all flappy. It was really sagging down like that. So there's none of that, no draft. And I've done the thumb. Don't know if you can see. No, hang on. I can't twist my arm round at the right angle. Do it like that. So that goes up the thumb. Really, really pleased with them. And I want to cast on a new pair by the same are they by the same? No, they're not by the same designer. I tell a lie. I'm going to cast these on next. They're called Porcelain Cat by Rebecca Sai, I think it is, Tsai, and they look just like my cat Lily. So I'm probably going to cast those on next. But getting back to these, because I distracted myself, these were knit with, I keep all the things so I can show you and then I forget I've got them. This one is Cascade Heritage in macadamia, and then that was a new 100-gram ball, and I didn't use very much of that at all. This is Drops. Let me find the thing, hang on. I'm sure it's in here. There it is. Drops Alpaca Mix in 2925. That was left over from a shawl that I test crocheted for Alex, my Yarny Corners Alex. I bought 3 50-gram balls and I used just less than 2 of each colour, so I had a whole 50-gram ball left and a little bit, and I used the little bit and then broke into the ball. So that's 100% alpaca. This is, I think, 75% merino and nylon. Again, I've got the label. Why don't I just look on the label? That's a good idea, Mandy. I'll do that. Where does it say? Yeah, 75-25 superwash merino and nylon. So two very different yarns, but they've gone together beautifully. And the what I'm calling the lily cat mitts, I'm going to do all in the drops alpaca. So that's those. They're looking a bit dull. Let me see if I can, oh, here we go with the light again. Is that any better? Oh, a little bit, yeah. I'm hoping, do you know, I laugh at other podcasters when they sit there like this, hoping that YouTube is going to pick that as the little picture, thumbnail. They never do. They always pick something where you're pulling a face like this. That's going to be my thumbnail now, you watch. Yeah, so they are finished. I'm going to move it closer so you can see. Really, really pleased. One of them, this one, where I had to drop down and fix some stitches I'd put in the wrong place, still looks like she's going a bit. That would be her YouTube thumbnail. But her sister is just looking perfect. So they're only for me, and I'm really, really pleased with them, so I don't mind. I don't mind. I've got a grumpy vixen and a not grumpy vixen. I'm rambling already, and we're not very far. We're only 10 minutes in, and I'm already rambling. Okay, that's all my finished objects, but I do have, let me just deal with this mess I've made. I do have some progress to show you on some other things. First of all, I'll show you these. These are the totally cabled mitts by, and I wrote it on the back page, and then I've rearranged my pages and I'm not on the back page anymore. Let me look. Linda Lehrman, Lehman. These were the ones that I thought were going to beat me, but I've managed to decipher them, and I'm actually going great guns on them. These are on my knitting rota for today, in actual fact. So I haven't done anything on them yet. I've been working on something else, which I can't really show you. Well, I might show you a little bit. So, last time you saw them, I was all the way down here, and I've now done this much. I am going to adapt the pattern slightly. I've got these markers in. I don't know if you can see actually. You knit for so long, then you do 1.5 inches, then 1.5 inches, then 1.5 inches, then another 3¼ inches, I think, and then you start putting in the thumb gusset. Well, it's already coming quite a long way up my arm. Let me show you. I must have just like really short stumpy arms, because that's about where it is on the pattern, so before the elbow. And you can see I really need to start my thumb gusset in about 1 inch. If I keep going for the length of time or the length of knitting that they tell you, it's going to be right up over my elbow. So I'm going to make sure I've got the right stitch count, and then I'm going to start in about 1 inch. But I'm really loving them. I'm enjoying knitting them. I don't know if it works. Honestly, when you turn your arm, everything twists, doesn't it? Yeah, so that's the inside. There's those cables up the sides, and then the main cable up the front, back, top. I don't know. Either way, I'm really loving them. They're really fun to knit. I can't wait to have them finished to wear. I'm knitting them in this. I'll hold it back here, which gives you a better idea of the colour, but you can't see all the speckles back there. So it's heavily variegated, I would have said. And I'm remembering to tell you this week, aren't I good? Fibre Spates Vivacious 4-ply in Peach Bellini. But I think they're just gorgeous autumny colours. So they're my autumn cast on. I've already got another skein of yarn. No, I'm trying to work out a sentence here. I've got some more yarn caked up. That's the word I was looking for. A skein of yarn caked up, ready to do another long pair of cabled mitts. It's not as intricate a cable as this, so I'm going to do it in a darker. You'll see it eventually anyway, but it's a skein of Alex's yarn, Alex and Danny. Fingerless mitts seem to be my new obsession. I'm going to warn you now, because they're just like socks really. They knit quite quickly and you can have fun with colours, and it's not a huge commitment of time. I'm going to make a small segue now to show you my acquisitions. I know it's not traditional and I have got some more progress to show you, but speaking of socks and fingerless mitts, I had a refund on my car insurance. It was all very mysterious. A cheque arrived and it said there'll be a letter following explaining, and when the letter came, all it said was, we'll be sending a cheque separate to this letter, which wasn't much of an explanation, to be honest. But anyway, it was money that I didn't expect to have, and so I thought I would treat myself with it. And what I treated myself to was this. This is from Craft House Magic. It's a set of higher sharp 9-inch sock needles. One of them's not in there because I'm using it. I ordered it, I think, on a Wednesday, and it came the next day. You can't argue with that kind of speedy service, can you? So I did treat myself to this, and with a view to the fact that I'm doing the MCAL, Stephen West MCAL, I just say the MCAL, assume you all know what I'm talking about, but there are, of course, many going on at the same time. But I am talking about the Stephen West one. I've wanted some of these for ages, and I could have made myself some, but I'll be honest, I have something of a phobia about sewing jersey fabrics, which I'm just going to have to get over because I want more of these. I bought some yarn cozies. These I got from Amelia X Joy, and she had a few that were in sets of 3, and it worked out much cheaper than buying them singly. So I bought these with the intention of putting my Stephen West MCAL yarns that I'm working with into them so that they don't get all messy in the project bag if I ever make my mind up about what colour I'm using. I had a sort through and I chose what I thought I was going to use and showed it to the Zoom ladies last night. And then I went off on a tangent and changed one of the colours, and so this morning I sent 3 photos of 3 possible colour combinations in the hope that everybody would go, yes, colour A or B or C, and pretty much everyone gave me a different preference, so that was no help at all. No help at all, Zoom ladies, none. But to be fair, it's probably just as well, because if someone tells me to do something, I will almost inevitably do something different. So you're probably going to have to wait until the 6th of October or the next podcast to see what I actually go with. I'm hoping to have them caked up before then. Even Poppy's fed up with my nonsense. She's going back to sleep. Right, I'm going to stop talking about things that I can't show you because they don't exist yet, and show you something that I can. I've made some progress on the 2 sweaters that I'm currently knitting on, as opposed to the sweaters that I have put aside and tried to pretend don't exist for a bit. This is one, as you can see. This one is Celosius by Jennifer Steingars. And last time you saw it, I'd only done to there, so you could just see a little blue spot. But now I've done this much. I think, oh yes I have. I've divided for the sleeves. I'm hoping to have this finished by the end of the month. It's going to have short sleeves. I may well just do a rib on what's there. The reason being, I've got a long sleeve t-shirt in this blue colour that I want to wear it over. Plus it's quicker. But obviously I've got to still knit the body to a reasonable length. So yeah, the exciting bit is over. The yarns I'm using are this orangey gingery colour. That's a Home Bargains yarn and it's called Burnt Orange. And the blue, teal, whatever you call it, is, no, it's not West Yorkshire Spinners. Did you see my mouth was ready to say that then? It's Stylecraft Special DK in Empire, which is one of my favourite blues, and I can see that I might knit another one with the colourways reversed. But I've got to keep knitting the same thing. I do this all the time. Well, you know I do this all the time. And then I get bored with what I'm knitting because it's the same thing that I knit 3-4 times before. But the problem is, particularly with this, I see so much potential for different colours that I know I'm going to... This is my third attempt at knitting it anyway. I've told you before about the first 2 attempts. If you missed that, the first one, there was no contrast between the yarns. I used a pale green and a white and you couldn't tell that there was anything on it. The second one, I messed up. I don't know what I did. But after I divided for the sleeves and what have you, I only had 50 stitches left for the back, which is less than the stitches for a sleeve. So that wasn't going to work. So this really is third time lucky. And it's one of those colours, let me hold it back here. I look at it sometimes and I think, oh, I love that. And then I look at it another time and I'm like, wow, that's Larry. But I think it'll be okay. Once it's finished, with some jeans, it'll be fine. And I do like a short sleeved sweater because I get hot. And I'd like to be able to wear it with some jeans on its own as well as over that long sleeve t-shirt. So that's that one. I've also got on really well with this one. Doesn't appear to have any yarn attached at the moment. Where is it? There it is. This is from the fall collection by Bad Wolf Girl. And you have waited all this time for the big reveal. And you can't really see it because it's all squidged up on a little needle. So this is the chart that I chose. It's Travelling Leaves, I think it's called. In the fall collection pattern there are 5 charts: pumpkins, cats, ghosts, maple leaves and this one. And I've used some scraps of yarn. The grey I recycled from a sweater I was knitting last year and didn't like. Most of this is Sirdar Jewel Spun. This little bit here are leftovers from a sweater that I knit, my Autumn Stripes sweater. The orange is left over from my first Skull sweater, Sabrina sweater by this same designer. and down here these are leftovers as well. So the only yarn I actually bought for it was this, and that was from Home Bargains, and it was 99p. So cheap sweater all in all. Again, I'm really pleased with it. I've knitted a little bit into the body, but I've shot myself in the foot a little bit, really, haven't I? Because I've got two Colourwork jumpers and I'm at pretty much the same stage with both of them. I've divided for the sleeves. This is going to come up a little bit big, I think. I've divided for the sleeves and now I'm down to the stocking stitch round and round. So that's a bit poor planning. I thought I'd gone down a size with this, but I do knit Colourwork quite loosely, so perhaps I should have gone down another size. But never mind, it'll be a cosy autumn, late autumn, early winter jumper either way. So that's that one. And I really hoped this next thing was going to be finished to show you, but I just didn't quite make it. This last thing, I have no idea what I've done with the pattern. There it is. Sorry, hang on a minute. Nothing to see, just my ruler. This is the Stephen West shawl. I'm trying to find a better picture for you. Hang on. What's the word? Stapled these together the wrong way. That's supposed to be the front page and it's not on the front page. So this is the shawl that I'm currently making. I won't say what it's called because my friend Jane does not like the word. Sorry, I got distracted there by my post-it note. I was like, what's that? Post-it note. It's probably time I went for a nap, to be honest, let alone doing this and then getting on with some housework. Anyway, I'm on the border at last. At long last. I'm looking for my... There it is. There it is. So last time you saw it, I was there. So I've done this much, which doesn't look like a great deal in 2 weeks, does it? I only work on this at weekends and don't necessarily have a huge amount of knitting time at weekends, but there's well over 600 stitches in each row and each row takes me half an hour. So progress is slow, but I've got, let me look, 13 more rows and then the I-cord bind off to do. So I'm hopeful this will be finished for next week and maybe even, see, I'm struggling to get half of it in. Maybe even blocked. It's going to be massive. That's half of what I've got so far and I can barely get it onto the screen. It's big. But the more I knit it, the more I like it. And I can't wait to have it finished because I want to wear it. And I think over a white t-shirt, I mean it would go over this t-shirt and cardigan with a pair of jeans. It'd be nice. Can't tell you what most of the yarn I'm using is. The blue is Signet Truly Woolrich. The pale yellow is from Mad Madam Mel. And I made some socks with. I did the mohair there, but I don't know what the mohair is because it was a gift from somebody without a label, so that's a mystery as well. There's some green. This green was some leftovers, and it's different to this green, but it all kind of goes together because the main yarn that I used, this multicoloured one, has got all the other colours in it, so it sort of ties things together. The pattern calls for 7 different colours. I started off with 5. I think I ended up with 6. The green I had to substitute because I ran out. The pale yellow, the Mad Mel, I ran out of as well. Oh, and I know what this one is. I put in another cream stripe to tie in with the mohair, and to sort of, it kind of ties in with the pale yellow. That is White Mice from Little Mouse House. The rest of the yarn, can't tell you what it's called. Essentially, I wasn't going to knit this. I'm sorry if you've heard all this before, but you might be new. I wasn't going to knit this. The Zoom group, we're all casting on the 1st of August, and I wasn't going to do it because you could see how big it was going to be. I didn't want to get tied up with a great big shawl and risk not being finished in time for the MCAL, which starts on the 6th of October. So I wasn't going to do it. They all cast on the 1st of August, which was a Monday. By Thursday night, I'd got FOMO, and so I went stash diving and found scraps and yarns that had lost their label, and just found things that would work together. So I haven't followed his plan for where colours should go in. I've kind of gone my own way with that. Most of the sections that I've done in the green, the mottled variegated green, should be in 2 colours. This section and this section I did do in the 2 colours just to break it up a little bit, but I mean, these 2 sections should be done in 2 colours, but I've done them in the 1, and I think it's come out okay. In fact, I think it's come out more than okay, so I'm quite happy with it. I would like to get it off the needles though, but I'm not trying to rush it, and I'm just taking my time, and I'm just enjoying knitting each row, even if it does take a very long time. And I've not quite decided. I'm going to do the I-cord bind off in a different colour, I think. I could do it in the variegated, but I'm tempted to do it in the green or in the blue. I'm not decided yet. I think the blue would probably make the most sense. Looking at it, there's no blue past here, which is about halfway down. So I think, oh yes there is, there's some there. But I think the blue as an I-cord bind off would sort of tie the end with further up the shawl. Am I making any sense? It's making sense in my head, but I can't get it out in a sensible way. So I'm going to give up. I'm sure you know what I'm ranting on about. I'm just going to give up trying to explain. We'll see. We'll see what it ends up as. Hopefully we'll see next week what it ends up as. But I have also started my Christmas knitting, and trying to squeeze that into my already extremely full rota. Basically there are only 7 days in the week, and I need there to be about 20. If someone could arrange that for me, please, that would be excellent. Thank you. 20 days a week would be very good. I'm going to give you a very, very brief look at what I've started knitting. Mostly so that the person it's for, I can direct them back to this episode when they are, what's the word I'm looking for, suspicious that I may not have knitted these myself. That's as close as you're going to get. I am indeed knitting these. I'm going to make a note of the episode number and the time at which they were shown. It's a pair of socks, it's for someone very special, and that's all you're going to hear about that until after Christmas. My plan with my Christmas knitting is, once I've got it all done and before I've wrapped it all up, to record an episode and then put that out after Christmas so that you can see it all together in one place. It'll give me a week off and no one will see their present before they've actually been given it. So that seems like a good plan to me. Right, I don't think I've got anything else to tell you. Nope, that's everything. So I'm going to go away now. I'm going to tidy up the mess that I've made in here. In avoiding doing the housework, I've actually made more mess in here for myself to tidy up, which wasn't the plan. Never mind. I'm going to go and do that, and I will see you next week. Hopefully with a finished shawl. We'll see. Bye guys.